What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back here with another video, and today we're rocking with round 3 of 4 of this mock draft. So hopefully y'all been enjoying doing this the day after round 2. Actually, I just dropped round 2, so we're gonna be seeing how that pops up. But if you guys are enjoying, feel free to like the video, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends, because if they like the draft content as well, doing it almost every single day, it's fun. You guys think that I'll run out of ideas, and somehow I don't. I'm actually behind on quite a few series, like the 7-round mock. So if you guys like a team, request it down in the comment section below, and I'll be making a 7-round mock on it, especially this week, because we're going to have this 4-rounder, and then we'll probably just go after it, because this week PFF's mock draft drop and everything. So lots of stuff to deal with. But let's start it off with the number 65 pick. We have the Broncos trading back, and I keep getting pushback for taking Carson Strong at the end of the second. I don't know why anybody, especially for a team like the Lions, that might as well just say, screw it, we're going to take a quarterback with a high ceiling, would ever do that. Like, I don't know why that would be ever an issue. I know he has some, I think he's had like 3 knee surgeries, but there's just, I mean, to be 100% fair, there's every single player is going to go through issues like that, but whatever. 65, the Broncos. I think this is an excellent spot to evaluate a tackle like Jackson Kirkland. He was a former top 10 pick in a lot of drafts, just not cutting the bill. He could be a guard if you need him to. I think he still has a chance at tackle, and especially with a quarterback like Matt Corral, where you're going to be having more of a mobile offense, I think that's where Jackson Kirkland is going to shine. I thought he was an outstanding right guard. So being able to put him at right tackle might be able to give him the chance. Again, it's an early 3rd-round pick. To you guys, it's a late second. You guys gained a little bit of draft capital as well. I think that would be a phenomenal value. Max Mitchell also, I believe he's actually a right tackle. So that's another guy who you should consider here. I think he was on PFF's all-pro team, like their all-pro first team for college at the right tackle spot. We're gonna have to do a little more research, because I'm very excited to look at Max Mitchell, but he's definitely gonna be drafted in here, and we'll take a couple looks. Honestly, we might take a live look at him as well. I think Jackson Kirkland has a little bit more of a higher ceiling just because of his athleticism and his experience at left tackle, but still a very high-end prospect. Number 66 for the Jets. I think this could be tight end or running back. And given the tight ends on the board, I think Trey McBride is a steal. Definitely worth a 2nd-round pick. Just it's hard to figure out when a team is going to go a tight end versus when they're going to go elsewhere. Again, if you guys think I'm making these picks fast, just because I see players who definitely need to go off the board and teams that definitely would want to take them. And, Trey McBride, definitely one of those players. I think Josh Wiley might be returning to school. 67, though, you got the Texans left on the board, and there are some good corners still on the board. You got Nehemiah Pritchett here. You got Jermaine Waller, Kobe Bryant as well. All these guys I'm very big fans of. We're going to treat Verone McKinley as if he's returning. I think so, because I think he's going to be a 1st-round pick. So that leaves a strong safety like Lewis Cine as somebody who we could take. However, I think Lonnie Johnson might be going into that role and playing a bigger role there. You could go after a guy like Jalen Tolbert. I do not like Zay Flowers. Just my honest opinion. I'm not a very big fan of him. So, I mean, we could also go offensive line, because, again, there is one position on the offensive line that needs to be filled. So Jamari Sawyer, definitely a talented guard and tackle hybrid out of Georgia. If you can get to move Titus Howard over to right tackle again, there's still a slot open for a guy like Jamari Sawyer to play. And obviously, there's a lot of beneficial attributes to somebody who can fill in at a tackle spot. So honestly, we're going to do it. We're not going to get input. We're not going to get like a skilled position player. We're going to build those trenches up. Jamari Sawyer out of Georgia. I mean, you can never go wrong with it. Even if they bust out, you can never get mad at a team for taking offensive line, because it at least shows that you're trying your best to fix the whole line situation. And you're doing something to protect your quarterback, which is now Malik Willis. So, woo. But yeah, number 68. This, honestly, I know you guys say that you don't need to go offensive line. I would still take Jamari Sawyer here. I just do think that's somebody that you could go after. We've gotten quarterback. We've gotten safety. Which quarterback did we get for you guys? Because trying to remember it, Sam Howell, I don't understand why people are going crazy at Sam Howell over Malik Willis. Sam Howell might actually be able to perform better in year 1. Regardless of my frustrations for that, we're still going to look to see if there's anybody worth it here. Max Mitchell, again, deserves to be an honorable shout out, but Sam Cosmi, you guys do like to bring him up. I know he's there. I was a big fan of Sam Cosmi. Had him as probably an early 2, just because I thought he was better all around rather than a specified really good talent in one area. He just didn't seem like he was something incredibly impressive. Just really solid tackle, which is what he's been. I'm not going to go after wide receiver here. I could look at linebacker. Darian Beavers is still on the board, and that's something where that's going to be a bigger linebacker. I think that you guys do need a Mike. So it wouldn't be a terrible option to go after a Mike linebacker right here. Again, to be 100% fair, you guys shouldn't be in this position. TDN screwing it up. So again, I apologize about that. Nothing I can do unless I'm going to be putting about an hour and a half into rearranging the entire draft board, which I'd rather just build my own at that point. And that's going to take some time. And obviously we started out this series. So we'll be doing that probably in the off season. But right here, hopefully TDN gets their act together as well. I think this could be a good spot for Darian Beavers. I can't really see many teams before him taking him anyways. So most likely he would be there. I'm treating Henry To'oTo'o as somebody who's returning as well. So Darian Beavers out of Cincinnati. It's going to be the pick here. Again, you just got to solidify some help on that Mike linebacker spot. You look at him, he's almost 260 pounds. So big boy. He's a very talented linebacker, good in coverage. Cincinnati knows what they're doing. 69. This would have been great for Verone McKinley, right? But not the chance this time. Lewis Sign, I really do want to take him. We do have to give a shout out to Woods, though. He is, apart from the fact that he horse collar tackles Najee Harris, he is a very good safety, especially for the value. That being said, I don't know if he's going to want to stay. He could honestly want to move to a team that does need more of a safety help. You could even see a team like the Chiefs get him as another rotational safety. Lewis Sign might be a really good option. That being said, we could also go after interior defensive linemen. Like you got Fedarian Mathis, Perrion Winfrey, as well as Haskell Garrett in here. All really good guys. Linebacker, can't see it. I always use this as a reference. I never use it as actually. I don't think that you see all these needs as the correct order. That being said, obviously TDN does know what they're talking about, so can't totally ignore it. I would say I would honestly go after interior defensive line at this point, but I don't think the value is good enough. There's still guys like Kenneth Walker on the board for a team that wants a 3-down running back. And one of those teams is right here. It's Atlanta. And there's a team right in front of them, the Giants. If people are, I don't get, like, some people like to comment saying, why would they jump in front of those teams? They're not going to pick it. If a team wants to trade back, other teams will realize that there's a vacancy there and move up for a player that they want. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm projecting the Niners to take a running back. In this case, luckily, I think that the Giants will take it. But the Falcons are going to be moving up here with the Vikings. But bottom line, if there is a vacancy, let's assume that, let's just say the Eagles are sitting here, and let's assume that they don't have a running back. Well, they want to jump in. There's nobody in front of them, but there's a team like the Giants are sitting right behind them that would want to move up. The idea is that there's a team that's going to want to move up. So that was a very complicated way of saying, just understand that even if the teams that they're jumping ahead of aren't going to take a guy, there are teams that want to move in front of them. But this is going to be Kenneth Walker. Again, Travon Walker is going to be returning in my eyes. Kenneth Walker, obviously not. He's an absolute monster. I do like him quite a bit. Niners, this could definitely be an edge pick, especially with all of these guys on the board. I don't know if this guy comes out. ZTF should probably return. However, he's honestly too good to pass on at this point. So I'm going to do it. You guys do need a reliable edge. That's a little bit tricky, though, because kind of the problem with D Ford is either he's not been healthy or not been consistent enough. And ZTF's history is that he's been injured. So that's actually a little bit suspect. I might wait till the next round for a guy like Sam Williams. He might honestly go this round. But that's a tough one. I want you guys to tell me what you guys would do down in the comments, because I might just take ZTF, even though he has a pretty poor track record. Like wide receiver wise, Wando Robinson's not on the board anymore. Khalil Shakir in round 4 would be quite fun. That'd be pretty fun. This is where we're going to start taking dudes that I haven't taken before. And that's going to be the crazy thing. We've never done a round 4 before. We could go Lewis Sign, because he is a really good safety. But I don't know. I really don't know. Unfortunately, the Jaguars have, I think, taken a high-end safety in Jaquan Brisker. Otherwise, I would say move up with them for Lewis Sign. Ooh, hold up. We can move back and still select a guy. The Eagles need a strong safety. And they still could be threatened by the Vikings. They could be. But I don't think the Vikings are actually going to take a guy. But to be fair, Lewis signs on the board. You move up to select your guy. It doesn't even, to be 100% fair, it doesn't matter if other teams are going to want to move into that position. We're going to offer a 6th, see if we can squeeze out a 7th. There you go. Niners move up a full round and be able to select another 6th-round prospect. You can get Lewis signed here. That's a dream draft for the Eagles. Again, Bro McKinley, in my opinion, is going to return. The Giants are sitting here, though, and I think this is where we see a running back like Breece Hall get thrown into the mix. I really do not find Saquon Barkley as the future. I don't think many people do. I just don't. So getting Breece Hall will actually solve that problem big time. And this is going to be a good spot to get a guy who can pass rush from the middle, Haskell Garrett. Like, this guy is a big, big threat in the pass game. Actually, Perion Winfrey has a bit more upside. And if he develops his run defense, which a guy like Pierce could definitely do, this guy actually has a much higher ceiling than Haskell Garrett. Haskell Garrett still deserves to be in the recognition at this point. I don't know why he's being heavily underrated. The guy had like a 25% pass rush pressure rate, which is insane for half of 2020. So the guy's got talent. I don't know why he's being totally neglected. The Jaguars sitting here, this is a team that could take ZTF, and then it wouldn't be like out of the question. Honestly, ZTF deserves to be taken at this point, and he's going to be playing a weird flex role. I honestly think you could go after a guy like Logan Hall instead and put him on the interior, but man, that is actually a pretty tough one. Actually, I didn't realize ZTF was almost 270. Holy shit. I thought he was like 256. We're going to take ZTF here. You know, could we have taken him for the Niners? Yes. I don't think that you would want to replace D Ford, who's injury prone, with an injury prone player in a team like this where you have Caleb on Chase on and room for him to get injured. That might make a little more sense. So for 74, this right here very well might be Max Mitchell. I know that it really sucks because I'm pretty damn sure he plays right tackle. However, to be fair, I don't think that it's impossible to go from right to left, left to right. We've seen it before. We did it already earlier in this draft. This guy has like a 94 PFF grade. We're going to be watching him much closer, but I know that there's a lot of hype around Max Mitchell. And Louisiana knows what the hell they're doing in terms of training up their linemen. So big fan of what that could be. They also have a really good guard out of Louisiana too. So I want to see if he's in here because he's good. He is good. And I haven't seen him yet, which is kind of questionable. He might be down here. If he's down at the bottom, that means that they haven't put him in. So they have not factored in the other Louisiana guard because that guy's a beast. Regardless, a team that could have used him, even though he doesn't fit the exact profile, is a team like the Raiders. But sitting here, they're going to get a guy who I think fits perfectly. Romeo Doubs out of Nevada. Really good deep threat right there. He also is going to be going, he's going to look the exact same as he has in college. So their uniforms are identical to the Raiders. So yeah, Romeo Doubs going to be sticking in the black and silver, going over to Las Vegas, also staying in Nevada. There's going to be a lot of tape on Romeo Doubs and a lot of guys, a lot of scouts from Las Vegas watching him very closely, especially since their deep threat is gone. I think it's a perfect fit. You could see this in round 2. That's as high as he goes. I swear to God, if he goes round 1, I would lose my shit. But Romeo Doubs, certainly deserving of this pick. Now the Niners on the board. This, I honestly think, could be a guy who's more of an instant impact like Sam Williams. The guy is extremely talented. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he has an injury history. Like, not a crazy injury history. So just making sure that he hasn't. The guy's been going off. He's been going off recently. Now, we could go another cornerback here. That's true. But Sam Williams is going to be gone by the end of this round. I'm just going to give you guys my own 2-piece in that. And we're going to take him here. You do need an actual second edge to be able to be more consistent. Sam Williams can also learn from D Ford. You just want a guy who can actually put up some good numbers, and he's definitely one to do that. 77 with the Giants back on the board. This is a tight end all the way. We're having Jeremy Ruckert out of the Ohio State University going at this point of the draft. We could see a team move up for Isaiah Likely. Definitely. And there are teams in here that I could certainly see that happening. A team like the Browns, they're obviously not going to take a guy like Isaiah Likely, but we could have seen them. We could see them go after a guy like Chad Mumma. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. Jack Campbell, Brian Asamoah. He's going to the Senior Bowl, actually, so I'm very excited to see him versus some more of that senior talent. Like, that guy could certainly jump his stock. I've heard a lot about this Chad Mumma guy. So there's certainly some hype that you could put around him being more in the middle, and that could be a really good compliment right there, because I know that they got Walker from Indianapolis, I think, on a 1-year deal. So that spot is certainly up for grabs. But we're going to actually move back here because I don't really see any other teams snagging that guy in the meantime. We're going to have a team move up for a tight end type weapon. And you can see, I'm thinking about the Jaguars right now. That's just pull the curtain away. It's going to probably be the Jags. But there are teams, I don't understand the hate against it for the Chargers. He doesn't need to be an inline tight end. I know that there's some guys there, but, you know, even the Bengals, they can move up. The Titans could definitely snag them, but there's also guys like Weidermeyer that I can see teams like that going after. But the Jaguars are going to be moving up here. They don't need too much, and this is a great spot to go. You're going to be giving up a 6th-round pick that you've traded away, hopefully just getting a 7th in return. So again, the Browns are moving back a small little bit. In return, the Jaguars are moving in and selecting the best player available, Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina. He's just going to be a weird tight end that I don't think many teams are going to go after just because of his role as more of a receiver rather than an actual tight end. And this is a team where, since you just traded a 3rd round, well, you got a 3rd round pick, and in exchange, you got a tight end, essentially. You're probably not looking for an inline, and this guy could be that receiving threat that you're looking for. So I think with the lack of receivers on the board, teams are going to start to look towards guys like Isaiah Likely. Now at 79, the Bills. Now I would honestly think the Bills want more of a bigger guy in the middle more than anything. And that would probably be where I go. So I want to get a corner here. And Kobe Bryant just got the award for the best DB in college football. That's going to thrust him up draft boards, and he is going to go to the Bills, cornerback 2 for the Bills, Kobe Bryant. Number 80 with the Broncos. This is another team that could use a boundary corner, and they're going to be going to Virginia Tech for it. Yeah, they passed on a VT corner last year, and honestly, I did not blame them at all for it. But they're going to finally go back. Jermaine Waller has all the size that you could ask for. He also has all the speed. There's a lot to like there, and he's a very good developmental corner. We could go Tyke Smith here and just get that slot role filled up because, again, there is – honestly, we might do that. Well, Tyke might fall because of his ACL injury this year, but he's worth the 2nd-round pick if he's not injured. So we might – an edge too, man. There's so many positions we could go right now. Jeez. Like Nolan Smith could be a pretty fun one. But because I think the safety class is just crap after this, and he's not an actual safety, he's a slot corner. I can't really see much besides THT being a good slot corner, because we could definitely pass and then maybe next round get a guy. Boundary corner is more valuable. Jermaine Waller, we're going to take it. 81 with the Colts. This could be certainly a cornerback pick as well. I don't think slot is going to be as much of an issue in my eyes. We could look at offensive tackle. Just don't really see much of a day 1 impact at that point. So I think corner is the best position to go. Nehemiah Pritchett's actually doing pretty well. You look at him, he's a 6'1", blazing speed corner. That's just what you get out of Auburn. They love their high-speed athletes there. Mikael Wright, another guy who we need to mention here. He's just a little bit shorter than I think would be liked over here in Indianapolis. Definitely built more to be a man-to-man corner. So a team that would be looking for a man-to-man corner, even the Bears. Also, I'm looking at a team like the Texans to go after Mikael Wright. They could definitely do that. Nehemiah Pritchett out of Auburn. I think that he's going to be better, well-rounded. And the Steelers, we've seen a run on corners here. So the Steelers are going to buck that train, even though they should be going after a corner. We're going to be losing possibly 2 of our high-end wide receivers. Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama, going to be able to replace that Juju Smith-Schuster role, hopefully. Of course, he would have been gone by the next pick because the Bears are sitting there. But with the Bears on the board, we could definitely see see Mikael Wright go. Alontae Taylor. They seem to like their dudes that they continue picking up. I don't really fully get that. A wide receiver it kind of sucks because Justin Ross, he might just be worth it. But this is a good spot to trade back. It is. You're just not going to be getting the value that you're looking for. And you still got guys like Tanner McKee's not going to come out, but Bailey Zapp, teams could be moving up for him. I don't think JT Daniels comes out. Keaton Slovis sure as hell shouldn't come out. Brock Purdy is not going to be drafted anywhere near here. So there's a lot of variables to go after. And there's also some really, really good linebackers. So Chad Mumma being one of them. So we can look at some teams trying to move up. You obviously Jack Campbell still here. I just don't know who would. So you know what? Screw it. We're going to go Mikael Wright out of Oregon. We're just going to do it. Because I know that the Bears, I think, drafted that corner last year out of Oregon. I'm forgetting. I'm using the Senior Bowl. But Mikael Wright could certainly be a guy that the Bears go after. Let's just have a little bit of fun. And the Browns, they're going to go after Chad Mumma, an actual inside linebacker out of Wyoming. Pair him up with JOK and then see what happens there. I do like what I've so far seen from Chad Mumma. 85 with the Texans. Unfortunately, we just kind of screwed him on that. But Tyke Smith is here. We could take him. Jalen Petrie. Actually, I did not realize that they're going to put Jalen Petrie that high. I wouldn't say that he's that good. I need to do a little more study on him. But this is going to be a running back. In my eyes, I think you should probably go after it. Jerome Ford's on the board. I do like Jerome Ford a lot. He might be going at this pick. And look at that. James Cook is moving up the draft board. I love it. This is going to be Isaiah Spiller. It makes sense. They got rid of what's his name? Lindsey, who I think James Cook could be pretty similar to. So they probably want to go after more of a power back like Isaiah Spiller, which I think would be a very good idea. 86 with the Chiefs. Again, this could be, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they actually go with a receiving running back here. I'm pretty sure that Clyde Edwards-Helaire hasn't been the most effective in the past game. You guys can correct me on that. But James Cook could be a really fun one. Jerome Ford, another guy. They're probably going to be my next backs to go. But this could be a good spot to move back to. I don't know. It's a weird one. Again, Burrow McKinley, Henry To'o, Trevon Walker, all considered returning. So definitely something to keep in mind because you'll probably see them pop up. It's like that's kind of weird that they're still on the board because they aren't. Jalen Weidermeyer is still here. And I don't think they'd be able to trade right there with like one of their rivals. I don't think that'd be too realistic. The Bengals aren't that big of a rival of the Chiefs. That could be a team that moves up and selects Jalen Weidermeyer. And honestly, I wanted to check to make sure that we didn't draft a tight end for the Bengals. I know we didn't because we put them in the thumbnail last week. We're going to move up with the Bengals. Why not? Have a little bit of fun. Make the draft interesting, right? So we're going to move up, offer a 6th round pick, see if we can squeeze out a 7th. I mean, what? Look at that. It's a 50 spot jump. I think that's more than adequate. So the Bengals, as much as I'd want to get them a tackle, just not good enough value right now, guys. Get your best value on the board, which is Jalen Weidermeyer. Really good tight end. Again, you are jumping ahead of a team like the Chargers. The Chargers could use a bigger wide receiver. Unfortunately, I would be waiting maybe later on to get a guy like Xavier Hutchinson. I do like him quite a bit. We might see him in the next round. Forgetting that there is a next round. Justin Shorter, another really fun guy to experiment with there. This is where we're going to see Haskell Garrett. I think you're going to see him try to be what they're hoping for out of Jerry Tillery. Hope his contract's going to be coming up soon. Next, this is going to be Tyke Smith. We're going to do it. We're going to pull the trigger on Tyke. There you go. Tyke Smith, slot corner. If you look at PFF premium stats, he's played over 50% of snaps every single year, including of 6 out of the 7 snaps he's done this year as slot corner. So says safety. He's a slot corner. They probably just didn't want people who did not do enough tape study on him to realize that he's not a boundary corner, and he won't be a boundary corner. He's going to be a pure slot, and that's perfect. They got a boundary as well as a slot corner to fill those roles. 89, the Cowboys. This could be a fun spot to go like Lakeisha Smith. I'm a pretty big fan of him. And honestly, it might be the best move. Ed Ingram would be a nasty guy. I know that's not very Cowboys to go after a mauler like Ed Ingram, because obviously Connor Williams isn't exactly that. Ricky Stromberg is getting freaking hosed right here. That's some BS. Ricky Stromberg is a beast. We're going to go Lacecia Smith, though. We're going to lock him in. Just a high-end guard out of Virginia Tech. Just keep rolling with it. Chiefs are back on the board. Honestly, I think corner could be a good spot to go here. And Alontae Taylor seems like he's exactly what the Chiefs would be looking for. I do like Alontae Taylor. I think that he's now been a little bit underrated. Very high IQ. We're going to be rocking with Alontae Taylor. You can never go wrong with developing the secondary, and this team might need to start doing that. 91 with the Titans. Unfortunately, they missed out on the tight end situation. Of course, there are some really good linebackers that you could do. I know there's a couple of guys who are starting to stand out, but again, you do also need depth, and this is a good spot to get it. Tackle-wise, I mean, unless you want to start developing somebody, it's not too bueno for us. It's really not. Corner, can't see it. I really can't. We could look to add to the edge group because you do have Nolan Smith on the board. And honestly, I don't think that'd be a bad idea. I don't think Nolan Smith I think he comes out because he's going to be pressured by Adam Anderson and Javon Walker. So Nolan Smith's going to come out before these guys do, and we're going to be taking him right here. Number 92 with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, yeah, they got a couple receivers coming out, but I just can't really see much that they'd go after at this point. They could go after Ricky Stromberg because, again, Ryan Jensen is 31 years old. It's not going to be there forever. What's up, everybody? Just a quick little notice. I just recorded the video, and literally as I was recording it, Ricky Stromberg has declared to return to the NFL draft. So whenever his selection is being made, just imagine that's going to be switched for Alec Lindstrom. Just a little bit of a heads up, but definitely enjoy the video. We'll see you guys later. But we're going to go the classic James Cook route, receiving back out of Georgia. Guy deserves round 2 hype. He is a beast. And then finally, he's starting to get it. 93 with the Ravens. This could be a good spot to go after a center like Ricky Stromberg. I think that's where we're going. I think that should be where we go. Ricky Stromberg out of Arkansas. He also played guard too, but just a little bit disrespectful to my boy Ricky. And yeah, just take him here. 94 with the Packers. This could be a good spot to go edge as well. You know, this is a very good class for edge. It wouldn't be terrible to go after a guy like Brenton Cox and see how he rolls. He's a bit out of shape, but that might be the reason why you get to have a steal later on. So we're going to have Brenton Cox out of Florida going to Green Bay, see what he has to offer. Number 95 to the Patriots. We can get a deep threat here. We could try to find somebody who has a little bit of juice. Reggie Roberson could seem like a Patriot guy, but he did tear his ACL. Don't think he's going to be going that highly. I mean, again, I do go to SMU. I do watch these guys all the time. So honestly, this isn't the best class for guys who are going to be burners. It really isn't. It's not a class built for it, which sucks, but you know, there's worse things. Also, there's a little bit of disrespect to the kid out of Tennessee. I'm forgetting his name right now. Tillman. I think he should be coming out, and he's not even represented here. The guy's an actual beast, but whatever. I'm going to hold my peace. I think somebody that they could use on the inside is Zachary Carter. You know, take advantage of these Florida edges falling. He's 285 pounds with some insane burst. So we'll see that the Patriots don't use him like a typical outside edge. He'd be definitely somebody to go from the inside. Really, really interesting gadget player that you can either slim down to make him more explosive or build him up to be a bit of a more athletic interior. 96 for the Cards. You know, we can go running back. We could also go corner here. We got Noah Daniels on the board. I don't know, Riley Moss is also still on the board. I do like Riley Moss. I don't think he's an exact fit for the Cards. Running back is still an issue. And Jerome Ford's on the board. I don't know if we bring back Chase Edmonds because he's in a contract year. And since he was injured, it might be a sign that he's on the way out. Might be the right move. So I'm looking at Jerome Ford. I actually haven't drafted Marquise Jones before, but I mean, look at the size of this guy. We're not going to put him out there. Caleb Evans is the other guy I'm looking at. 6'2", 200 pounds. Josh Jobe, get the hell out of here. No one wants you. I think a Caleb Evans might be the right move. He's worth taking. He's not going to be a speed burner the way that you got with Marco Wilson, but he has the build of an actual outside corner. And I think that might be worth taking a shot on at the end of round 3. So let me know what you guys think. Caleb Evans out of Missouri. He's going to be this pick or the next. We take him right now. just to have a little bit of fun. Steelers. Now, this one, I could see us going interior offensive line. You got Ed Ingram here. I think that would be pretty fun. Doesn't exactly fit. Otherwise, we'd be getting that center out of Wisconsin, Whitewater. I always blank on his name. Over on the Broncos right now. That probably would have been the pick then. So unfortunately, not the case. Seeing if they've randomly hosed any other guards in the meantime, and they have not. Just because, again, they just totally disrespected Ricky Stromberg right there. Corner is something the Steelers need. They do. But there's just not very good value, and I don't think a 5'8" corner is the best option. Riley Moss is here, though. In Storm Duck, I think Storm Duck's going to return. I really do. I mean, look how young this kid is. He's almost a 2002 kid. Of course, trusting TDN does their job. Of course, they didn't last year. Riley Moss is worth it. Ed Ingram, I think, should probably be the pick. So, you know what? We're going to go Ed Ingram. I know it doesn't fit the scheme very much, but at this point, it's best player available. You could look at a guy like Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. Heard some very good things out of him. Again, watch the Louisiana connection with that Louisiana guard that's going to be coming out. He is a left guard, so it's going to be interesting to see if he will be willing to play right guard. However, there is that chance. 98, I think this could be honestly a good spot to go safety. And there's Petrie here, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Again, Ro McKinley, I'm projecting a return because he's that good. He'll probably be safety 1 next class. Jalen Petrie out of Baylor going right there. Yeah, I think he's the only guy worth taking anymore. Just it's going to be based on demand than anything. 99 with the Dolphinos. It's a really rough receiver class. It is. I don't think any of these guys are really worth it, and that's unfortunate. We could go edge here, though. Again, this is an unbelievable edge class. Get somebody for the interior because I don't think you need to. It's just at this point, best player available, good depth. Logan Hall out of Houston. Seems like a guy that will probably be going higher than this, but in this draft, he fell. Number 100, the Los Angeles Rams. So for this one, I'm definitely going to be focusing on a tackle. I think I've been going Kellen Dyche. I think that's just the way they're going to go. They're going to need someone who steps in day one. Rasheed Walker certainly is more intriguing than Kellen Dyche. I mean, looking at the weight, he is 10 pounds heavier, if I'm not mistaken. Kellen Dyche is 300 pounds. I know that for a fact. It says it on PFF. I trust PFF 1,000 times more than TDN. It's tough to think whether. Also, I'm saying Zion Nelson's returning because that guy has a lot of talent. He's a true junior. It's tough to say that if what's his name? I'm forgetting the left tackle's name. He's gonna stay another year. We're gonna say he does. Rasheed Walker is just worth taking over a guy like Kellen Dyche. I just don't think that he's very good. I'm happy Abraham Lucas is finally getting a little bit more respect as a right tackle. Don't think he's worth maybe a 3rd round pick, but definitely worth taking a look at. 101 with the Ravens. This could be fun to get a gadget player on the inside. You can look at Fedarian Mathis to be a monster in that middle as well. Or you could look at the edge here. You could look at another edge to be a little bit larger. We did go after an edge last round, but you can never say no to edge. This could be Noah Daniels, though. I think it is. I really do. I think that they go after another corner and see how it goes. They drafted one in the 3rd round last year, and they're going to be drafting another one this year because Noah Daniels has the potential to be a high-end prospect that pans out in this draft. Definitely worth investing in. The Saints are on the board, and let's see who's left. Let's see any fun players. Again, not going out, not worth it, not coming out. Abraham Lucas is still here. I'm happy he's finally getting some hype. We can see the Bengals try to make a move up to get a solidified right tackle. I just don't think it's worth it. Jack Campbell's still on the board. There's some guys who are definitely worth moving up for. Fedarian Mathis, I wouldn't personally move up for him. Tyler Davis could be. Just a weird spot. I'm not a huge fan of. We're going to be seeing the 4th round. We're going to be going with guys I've never seen before. But honestly, at this point, you have some. Tyree Smith might boost his draft stock as well. We're going to go Xavier Thomas to end. Oh, we're ending off the 3rd round right there. We're going Xavier Thomas to have a little bit of fun, grab a high ceiling player for the good old Saints. So that's going to be the video. Check back tomorrow for round 4. It's going to be crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.